Hey everyone, and welcome back. We always say we love diving deep into the stuff you're curious about, and this one's all about abundance.
Abundance, always a good topic.
Right. And, who doesn't want a little more of that in their life? So you sent us this episode, Daily Rituals to Cultivate Abundance, from the Vibes of Prosperity podcast, and I gotta say, it really got me thinking.
Yeah, it sounds intriguing. I'm always interested in those practical, actionable tips that people can actually integrate into their lives.
Yeah.
Not just some vague, be more abundant kind of advice.
Totally. And one of the first things that jumped out at me was how they define abundance, because it's not just about winning the lottery, right? It's about this whole life that's rich with, happiness and good relationships and opportunities and all the good stuff.
Yeah, I think that's such a key point, because if we're only picturing dollar signs when we think of abundance, we might miss recognizing it in all the other areas of our lives.
Totally. It's already there. We just have to see it.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's get into it. The first ritual they talk about is gratitude journaling, which, we've all heard about, right? The whole, write down what you're grateful for thing.
Yeah, it seems simple, but...
But is it really that simple? Have you ever tried it?
I have, yeah. And what's so interesting is that it's not just some woo-woo feel-good practice. There's actual science behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Studies have shown that focusing on gratitude can actually change the structure of our brains.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. It's like learning a new language. The more you practice gratitude, the stronger those neural pathways become.
Wow.
And then the easier it is for your brain to notice and appreciate all those good things in your life, whether they're big or small.
Okay, so it's like we're training our brains to seek out and really hone in on the good stuff. Right?
Exactly. And the Vibes of Prosperity podcast, they talked about focusing on the feeling of gratitude, even for those small things like, just a sunny day or a good cup of coffee. It's like we're rewiring our brains to see the abundance in those everyday moments.
So it's really about shifting that perspective from what we lack to what we already have.
Exactly.
And then from that place of appreciation, you're more open to receiving even more abundance.
Right, because you're vibrating on that frequency.
It's like they say, attracts like. Right.
Exactly.
What if you, listening right now, what if you tried it for a week? Just jot down a few things you're grateful for every day. I mean, that's worth a shot, right?
It's a powerful experiment. Yeah, see, if you notice a shift just in your overall well-being, your outlook on things.
Totally. Okay, so moving from gratitude to a little self-love, the next ritual from the podcast is all about affirmations.
Affirmations, yeah, the power of positive self-talk, right?
Right, and they were saying how important it is to actually, say those positive statements out loud, about yourself and about what you want to attract into your life.
Yeah, and they had some good ones.
Yeah, I am worthy of abundance. Opportunities flow to me effortlessly. Stuff like that, right? And it wasn't just about, thinking them, it was about actually saying them out loud.
Yeah.
So what's the science behind that? I'm curious. Why out loud?
Well, when we actually speak those affirmations out loud, especially if we can look at ourselves in a mirror while we're doing it, we're kind of engaging more of our senses, right?
Oh, interesting.
It becomes more of a mind-body experience.
Right.
It's not just in our heads. It's like we're really feeling it and hearing it. And
embodying it, yeah.
Exactly. And so, that can make it way easier for our subconscious mind to actually be receptive to that message.
It's like we're not just telling ourselves these things, we're showing ourselves.
Right.
And it's that combination that makes it really click.
Exactly. And those affirmations, they can start to kind of reshape our self-beliefs over time, right? And as those beliefs shift, we become more open and more receptive to opportunities in abundance that actually align with those new, self-beliefs.
It's like fake it till you make it, but with science, right?
Right. Exactly.
I love it. Okay, so on to the next abundance boosting technique from the podcast, visualization. This one I was so on board with because they're all about creating that mental movie of your ideal life, and I'm all about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, it's not just wishful thinking.
Right.
Think about how athletes use visualization.
Oh, yeah, totally.
To up their game, right? They're mentally rehearsing that perfect golf swing, the winning basketball shot. And what's so cool is their brains are actually firing off those same neural pathways as if they were actually physically doing it.
So our brains are like, wait, are we living this awesome life or are we just thinking about it? And our brains are like, I don't know, but just keep showing me those pictures and I'll get started on making it happen.
Right. And the cool thing is the more detail you add and the more emotion that you can bring to those visualizations, the more powerful they become.
Totally.
And that's why they suggested in the podcast creating a vision board.
Yeah.
Because it's that visual reminder
Yes.
of all your goals, of all your aspirations.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what I love about the vision board is it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You know what I mean? It can be as simple as like a Pinterest board. Or even like some magazine cutouts taped to your like bathroom mirror. It's really whatever does it for you.
Whatever resonates.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got gratitude journaling to shift our focus, affirmations to shape our beliefs, and visualization to, well, visualize our dream life, obviously. Now, the last two rituals from the Vibes of Prosperity podcast are a little bit different, and I'm curious to get your take on them. They're not so much about doing, but about being.
Yeah.
And those two are mindfulness and intention setting.
Oh, I love these.
Right. And I think they're so crucial, actually, because they kind of create that fertile ground for all the other rituals, all the other stuff that we're doing to take root and actually grow.
Absolutely, yeah.
So mindfulness, for anyone listening who maybe hasn't like hopped on that train yet, it's really just about bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. Just noticing your breath, noticing the sounds around you, just being super present.
Yeah, just being, exactly.
And they made a really great point in the podcast about how mindfulness can actually supercharge your intention setting, because when your mind is clear and calm, you're so much more able to set those intentions with a lot more focus and clarity.
It's like anything, you know? When you're unfocused, it's just like, but when you're really present and you can focus, then you can set those intentions.
Yes. And it's almost like there's that saying, wherever you go, there you are. Right. So mindfulness is really helping you actually be present with those intentions. So they recommended, the podcast hosts, that we start our day with even just a few minutes of mindfulness.
Just a few minutes.
And then from that place, set a really clear intention for how you want to show up, how you want to be in the world that day.
Yes. They said it doesn't have to be this big elaborate thing. It can be as simple as, today I choose to approach every interaction with kindness and patience, or today I am open to new opportunities, you know, or even today I am going to drink more water.
I love that. I'm already feeling, just hearing you say that, I'm feeling my energy shift. It's like those intentions are already like setting the tone for a more abundant experience. Exactly. And speaking of, you know, we were talking about consistency. That's something the Vibes of Prosperity hosts really emphasize. They said it's not like these rituals are like a one-time magic spell.
Right.
It's really about weaving them into your actual daily routine.
It's like anything else, right? It's like you wouldn't go to the gym once, do one sit-up, and expect to have a six-pack.
Right, exactly.
It's the consistent effort over time that really creates that transformation.
Totally. Totally. And I think, you know, even just like with exercise, the more you actually do these abundance rituals, like the more they become second nature, you know?
Absolutely.
And the more like naturally those good vibes will just start to like flow into all areas of your life.
Well, and it's not even that we're like chasing abundance. It's more like we're embodying it.
Yes.
And that actually makes me think, you know, if we're really committed to cultivating abundance in these areas, you know, with gratitude and self-belief and visualization and mindfulness, setting those intentions, what kind of ripple effects could that have on the other parts of our lives?
Oh, that's such a good question. So you're thinking like relationships, work, creativity, all of it, right?
All of it. I mean, could cultivating abundance in these ways actually lead to more fulfilling relationships? Could it lead to better opportunities in our careers? Could it even lead to just like a deeper sense of purpose, you know?
Wow. It's like, what is that quote? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes.
Right. So maybe like by shifting our own like internal landscape to one of abundance, we also start to see it more in, you know, the outside world.
Exactly.
So much to think about. And I would love to hear from you. Have you experimented with any of these abundance rituals? You know, we've talked about gratitude journaling, affirmations, visualization, mindfulness, intention setting. What's resonated with you? Let us know.
Yeah. What shifts have you noticed in your own life?
Keep the conversation going. Share your thoughts, your experiences, your aha moments with us. Because at the end of the day, we're all kind of like, you know, we're all on this journey together. So until next time, keep diving deep and keep those vibes high.